Okay, so these are variations. So we have direct variations and inverse variations. So a direct variation means that as one thing changes in one direction, like increasing, the other will also increase. So as one goes up, so does the other. Like my weight. The more I eat, the more weight I gain. That is a direct variation. Inverse variations happen inversely, and so what that means is as one goes up, the other goes down, and as one goes down, the other goes up. So like your speed, if you increase your speed, the time it takes you to get somewhere will decrease. Those are inverse variations, right? And so if it's a direct variation, it's a multiplication. There's some factor that relates the two, and so we call that k. So if it says y varies directly as x, then you get this equation. And when you're talking about inversely, that means you're dividing by some factor. So, or you're dividing by the variable into that factor. So it says y varies inversely as x, then you would put k as a numerator and x down here as a denominator. So like, remember if you remember distance equals rate times time, it's a very good one to think about it. Distance is a direct variation with time. But if you solve this for rate, you get distance over time. Your rate is an inverse variation with time. Got it? Yeah, so the faster you go, the less time it takes you. The more time it takes you, that means the faster you have to be going. Okay, so all you have to do really is just read the wording, and it tells you what to do. So if it says y varies inversely as x, you put y and then k over x. So when you see inversely, you think k divided by, and when you think directly, you think k times. And so it gives you everything you need. This is y equals k times x. This is y equals k divided by x. Okay? Now, if it's a joint, then you got to look at it as a multiplication of the two. So it's the same thing. Y varies jointly. That would also be a multiplication with the k. So it would be y equals k times x times z. And then you can get really crazy with these things. So it says y varies directly, so that's k times x, and inversely, so divided by c. So anytime you see inversely, you want to think divided by, and directly is multiply. So you end up with this situation. So what you're going to be doing on each of these is first you're going to write the variation based on what they give you, and then use that data to find that constant k, because that's what we need to do. We need to find out how do they relate to each other. There is some constant k that is relating the two. And then use the variation to answer the question. So Jimmy's income I varies directly. So directly means we multiply as the number of apples he sells n. And so our variation equation would be y I equals kn. And so now we need to find k. So what they'll do is give you some sort of relationship that you can use. So we want to first start and write out what everything is. So I is the income. N is the apples. And we're not going to write what k is because we know it's the constant. It's not going to change. We're trying to find it. So now when you look at it, you can see, okay, well, that's the income. That's the number of apples. So they're giving you a relationship. If he earned $26 from the sale of 100 apples during 1 week, that's all we need. So I equals kn is our variation. 26 is our I. 100 is our n. So now if we solve this, you get k equals 26 over 100, which is 0.26. And then now we can write our new equation. So I equals 0.26 n. We're just taking the k and replacing it. So now this is what we can use to answer any question we want. So if they give us the number of apples, we'll know what the income is. If we are given the income, we know how many apples he had. So that is our variation equation. Now, part 3, we need to use it to answer the problem. So they're giving us the income he made, which is $45. And so we can plug that in and then solve that. And it'll give us our n. So our n equals, and then we plug it in our calculator, and we get 173.076. So this is the number of apples, so it's just 173, because you don't want to sell a part of an apple. So 173 apples. And that is also the benefit of writing out your variables. So if you define your variables, you know what the units are for each of them. So since we solved for n, we got the number of apples. Okay. So I want you to try these to figure them out. They're the same exact situation. So you're going to first find the equation, use it to find k, and then get the actual equation with k plugged in, and then use that equation to solve the problem. So hit pause now and give these a try. Okay, so here they are. Let's see how you did. So the first one was varies inversely. So inversely means k divided by s. So we should have got 26.25. The second one says the baboon's weight varies jointly as the square of the number of bananas and the number of ants. So we get this. So we get that for your answer. Here it varies directly as tac d, which means we multiply them, and then inversely as the gar. So we divide by g, and we get 50. And then here atmospheric drag varies jointly as the object's surface area and velocity. So there's some multiplication factor k for the area times the velocity. And we get 57.4 miles per hour for that one. All right. Thank you.